In this movie, Scooby gets infatuated with a chihuahua. I see what you're getting at, Scooby. So, size difference is your thing, huh? You're gonna wreck her. Anyways, what about the movie? Let's get into it. Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to my review of Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico, that also came out in 2003 like the previous movie. So I guess these ones were probably washed or something. That might explain some problems I had with the previous movie. Anyway, this one has the old cast once again for the last time and takes place in Mexico and actually has some Texan Spanish voice actors compared to the previous one in Australia, not having a single Australian voice actor. So that is something. The voice acting in general is improved in this one. No one stood out as bad, and that includes Scooby-Doo. So if you did miss it, in the last movie, it's the start, at least in the movies, of Frank Welker voicing Scooby-Doo, and it's not my favourite Scooby. I would put him at the bottom with Don Messick at top, Scott Innes at second, Neil Fanning at third, and Frank Welker at fourth. But he did sound better in this movie. Even his laugh sounds better.
Yeah, we were rather.
So maybe he just had an off day and had a good day here. This movie also has the same animation, so it's not great for a movie, but it's fine, and it's all about the Chupacabra, which in this movie is just a giant Bigfoot. Like, even getting referred to as such. Like, I don't think they ever mentioned goat sucker, which kinda sucks. Pun intended. And in terms of design, it's not great, it's pretty bland. This movie, though, was kinda good. I enjoyed the comedy quite a lot, and it's what kept me interested in this movie. But it does have its fault and issues, especially towards the end. So let's get into it. As I said, it takes place in Mexico with Fred having a pen pal who invites him over, and then we see the gang all messaging each other over email. But like they're talking as they type, which I thought was a pretty fun way of communicating. Velma mentions the Day of the Dead is happening, so they're all kinda excited, besides Shaggy and Scooby, of course. But they mention food, which makes them happy, which I like this fourth wall break.
So what do you say?
Can't talk now, guys. Like Scooby and I got a pack.
So now we get a little montage of them heading to Mexico with a couple of fun, though also weird scenes of like one where they like encounter a skunk. So they get out of a van to try and hide on top of like a sign. Guys, you were fine in the van. Scooby attempts to ride a donkey, and also has to chase down a tire, gets rolled into a ring with a bull, gets thrown with a tire landing on top of him, and I do like the ending to it all. It made me chuckle. Scooby is so done already. Though I had a realization, there's so many moments where Scooby could be saying something or making some kind of noise, but he never does. I saw some people mention it somewhere that Frank Welker doesn't do a lot of the random dog noises Scooby normally does. And that's exactly what's missing. It's all the yelps and whimpers Scooby normally does. They're all missing. That was a realization to why I don't like Frank Welker's Scooby as much. He does less with him. He doesn't do all the yelps and the whimpers and all that. So Scooby does end up talking less then. So that's kind of interesting of a realization. At least currently anyway is how they're kind of working with him. We meet Fred's PayPal, Alejo. I believe, I apologize if I'm being racist here. I'm trying my best. I like his reaction to Shaggy.
Is this Shaggy? He doesn't look like he could eat you out of house and home.
He's got a high metabolism.
So we got confirmation of why Shaggy is so skinny. He lives in a big hotel with his family and friends, and this is where we see Scooby fall in love with the Chihuahua, who very quickly falls for him as well. Like, there's no playing around on this one, they're just in love, but it's also not part of the plot or anything, it's just fair, which is fine, it's very cute. Like him belly flopping in a pool but then coming up where she is, it's cute. We also meet Charlene, who is an American redneck gal voiced by Candy Milo, who previously voiced Crystal and Amber. She is the girlfriend of Alejo's brother, Louis, who is a bit of a coward, very worried all the time, and loves his girlfriend. I will say, I wasn't a fan of the characters. They just kind of exist, they're not interesting, but there's still some jokes there, like a businessman shows up, and I like the grandma's response to him.
How you say in America?
Crook?
Liar? Con man?
Jerk?
But yes, a businessman wants to buy the land, especially with like the chupacabra scaring a horse away. I wonder what the bad guys want. Yeah, like 20 minutes in, we know what's happening. Though, I did immediately think at this point the bother might be bad because he is kind of like, yeah, sell it, get over with kind of thing. But here they mentioned the chupacabra with Velma saying it's Mexico's Bigfoot. No, Velma, it's extremely not. And during the night, Scooby and Shaggy are attacked by the monster, so they do some classic jokes of them putting a bunch of furniture in front of the door and also charging in to save Daphne, but she just opens the door on them. It's all pretty fun. They then head to town to talk to the locals with Scooby and a Chihuahua during a cute goodbye. They then in town, it turns into Daphne talking like a news report, which I'm very confused by. I feel like it's a reference to Zombie Island because it's not like she's doing news stuff now. Someone then tags the mystery machine telling them to stay away, but the spelling in Spanish is a little wrong. So now Scooby and Shaggy, after having 2 Scooby snacks, stay with the van as the others head off and find a medicine man. At least this time Fred isn't telling Daphne to dress up as one. Because again, racist. This guy basically explains the only evil in the land is greed and goes over businesses trying to take over the lands and so on. Basically what we already suspected is going on. They really hammer that in and it's like, yeah, we know. We know. Though he also mentions the answers lie in the past, and then this funny moment.
If you have any more questions, check out my website at www.ancientmexicanwisdom.com. As I said, expect the unexpected.
After that, Alejo is attacked, but his brother disappears, and he almost dies, but he's fine. At the same time, someone cuts the brakes of the mystery machine. Okay, these guys are just straight up murderers. It's always funny when you really think about how deranged some of these people are. So while Shaggy's losing control of the van, Fred and the others are attacked by the chupacabra. But yeah, they play some kind of music, which like, it's all fine, but none of the music is memorable or anything. It just kind of exists, and it's supposed to like fit in the place they're in. It's, I guess, like Spanish, Mexican kind of music or something like that. Again, I apologize if I'm accidentally racist here, but yeah, I'm doing my best here. Either way, it's possible. Some fun moments here with different members of the gang all dealing with him in some way, and then they also stop by a cinema playing The Legend of a Vampire, the previous movie. Smooth, guys. Smooth. Also, Fred's little jump here made me chuckle, but also, what was that, Fred? They also add so many cartoon sound effects in these movies now, it's a little much sometimes. Luckily for them though, Scooby and Shaggy save the day, and luckily for all of them, they run out of gas right next to a gas station. So everything is okay. Lewis mentions he was knocked out by the monster earlier, so that's why he didn't show up right away, which also looks to be a lie. They really do kind of paint him as the bad guy, which I generally did think he was. Then they go to a museum, and this is where the movie lost me. The last half hour of this movie was a lot of noise and a lot of random stuff. Like, they ride around in these scooter things, which sure, is funny how, like, Daphne points out Shaggy always finds the toys, but then they're all riding around on them. That's kind of funny. But then this museum gal shows up, and it's just so much noise, as she puts on a show where they sacrifice Daphne, aka Daphne gets kidnapped. Again, they fully regress these characters back to their stereotypes. She disappears along with all the other people who we never see again. Like, who were they? Who knows? I don't think the movie knows. Alright, speed one time. They find a secret passage that turns into a slide because wackiness. Just how huge is this museum anyway? And if it is what it is later, kind of maybe it's all a theme park, this is a very dangerous theme park. They make it outside to where there's a bunch of pyramids. Daphne is very randomly on top of one of them. Then they get captured by this bird robot thing that Fred points out is like something out of a theme park. That then gets the tourists to chase them. Daphne thinks scorpions are spiders.
There's tons of spiders down here. No, guys. Actually, these are scorpions.
Oh, they really regress Daphne in this one. They really are just kind of throwing everything in this movie now. As it gets worse, as suddenly Daphne and Velma are riding on top of this dragon thing, there's a large statue stomping down on the brothers, and then there's these cats who are infatuated with Fred, but like are also stone, but not? Are they real? It's so confusing. This entire section is just kind of confusing. Is any of it explained? Nope, not really, not at all. Okay, kinda. That it could be part of theme park attraction stuff, but like, is this a theme park and not a museum? Or is this like a museum that has like these weird attractions that could kill people and destroy things? Which is stupid, because there is a sign that says it's a museum. I don't know what's going on. It's never actually explained why all of this is like, yeah, again, capable of killing people, and two, are the cats real? I hated this segment. We do see the businessman for once, so it's like, ooh, he's involved, right? Kinda. So they go back to the others, celebrating the Day of the Dead by respecting the dead. It turns out the American girl was kidnapped by the monster. I do like this one moment with some kids.
Now, forget all about this scary monster nonsense and play with your skeletons among the tombstones.
But then suddenly, Ghost, again, so much, saying that this is all cursed because the land is bad, so you better sell it, or this yeah, you get it. You know what's going on. Which, yeah, turns out there was a tracking device planted on them, and then Scooby and the Chihuahua follow some noise and find a dude dressed in a skeleton costume, who is then, like, controlling the ghost. I kind of like some of this moment, though. Like, the others join and mention, yeah, hey, it might be better and more convincing if you weren't speaking English. Because they're Mexicans, they speak Spanish, they don't understand what he's saying. That's kind of funny. So who is the skeleton? Mr. Smiley. Who the hell is that? Well, we saw some sides of his businesses. Yeah, that's all we have seen of him. He is just some businessman trying to get the land for a theme park, but like, yes, we know that was what was going on, but it's never giving us hints or anything that he's the bad guy. Or even that he's like a real person and not just like the face of the brand or something like that. But then the Chupacabra attacks again, but whatever, they get caught and it's a museum girl who is then revealed, oh yes, mask under a mask. Just like the previous movie, it's actually Charlene, the American girl, who is actually in love with Smiley, not Louis, the brother. The businessman then shows up, saying he respected their wishes to not sell the land in the end, but tried to tell them what was going on because apparently he knew about those two trying to do things, so he wanted to try and warn them. But not very well. Not very well. One phone call would have done it. Also, the brother, yes, did lie before on why he didn't show up. He was just scared. Anyway, film done. It lost me in that last half hour. There was just way too much going on that the Chupacabra started to feel like a secondary villain or third, fourth villain, and just, yeah, it was just a bit of a mess at the end. But I did enjoy that first half of the movie quite a lot. I really liked the comedy. I think the animation was slightly better, which could be just a version that I have, but it did look better either way. The voice acting is better, the characters are pretty bland though, the ending isn't good, the villain wasn't good, the music was fine, so yeah, it's a bit all over the place. This movie is a little hard to give a rating to. I do think it's better than The Legend of a Vampire because it's more consistent with the voice acting, and I did enjoy a lot of the comedy in this movie. It's really what kept me going, and like I really enjoyed the slapstick. I enjoyed enjoyed the comedy. But you are also told what's going on 20 minutes in, and told quite a few times throughout the movie. So I think I'll give Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico a score of 5 out of 10 foxes. I was going to give it a 6, but the last half hour was just too much of a mess in the end. But I could still recommend it for Scooby-Doo fans. If they just want to watch something Scooby-Doo and they've already watched all the best stuff, I can kind of recommend this one at this point in time. But yes, that's it for this review. Up next is Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster. I have a PayPal and Coffee. Please feel free to donate to help. I really appreciate it. I have a Blue Sky and a Twitter, all linked down below. Don't forget to hype the video with a little star icon somewhere here. I think it's this side. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to my channel because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon, and this fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now. Ew.